Good evening, everyone. It's 6 o'clock, and we'll call the June 24th, 2026 Committee of Council meeting to order. Welcome, everyone in attendance. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that the land upon which we gather is unceded Mi'kmaq territory. Epwig, Prince Edward Island, Mi'kmaq is covered by the historic treaties of peace and friendship. We pay our respects to the indigenous Mi'kmaq people who have occupied this land for over 12,000 years, past, present, and future. Before we get going tonight, I'd like to congratulate all the students that graduated this year. We had the biggest graduation, I guess, was from MRHS, Montague Regional High School. They graduated 152 students this year. Congratulations to Cody's daughter, and my grandson was a graduate as well. It was a very nice ceremony, and then we had a number of other intermediate and elementary schools that also graduated, and I'm sure their graduation was just as important. Anyway, congratulations to each and every one that graduated. So we'll move on to number 2, which is an approval of the agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda, please. Okay, moved by John, and second by, sorry about that, Councillor McFarland, and second by, who was it? And Councillor Van Donkley's good. Okay, any comments on the agenda?
Could I actually add something to that?
What would you like to add, Wayne?
Just that the Garden of the Gulf Museum is holding its grand opening Sunday 2 to 4.
Okay, do you want to tell us about that now then? It's just a grand opening?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's at the museum?
Yeah, Sunday.
Sunday from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Merci. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor of the agenda as presented? Aye. Okay. Number 3 is disclosure of conflict of interest. Do we have any disclosure of conflict in any of the agenda items this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to number 4, which is the adoption of the May 25th, 2026 Committee of Council meeting. I needed a motion to adopt those minutes. So moved by Deputy Mayor Jenkins, second by Councillor Spin. Any comments or discussion on those minutes? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All right, motion is carried. Next, we are on to presentations and delegations, and we do have a speaker tonight. So before we begin the public presentations part, I just want to say that we strive to uphold the values of Three Rivers community innovation and inclusion. We have a special town, and it is committed to contributing to sustainable growth. Meetings are essential to our governance process, providing transparency, advice, and assistance in respect to matters affecting the town of Three Rivers. Residents are encouraged to attend and participate, ensuring everybody can be part of the governance process. We value your input to maintain a respectful and professional environment. Personal attacks and disruptions won't be tolerated. So let's make these meetings a reflection of our pride in Three Rivers. I also want to let everybody know that the meetings are being recorded and broadcast on the web. Okay, and we just have one speaker tonight, Janice Macbeth. Welcome, Janice, and come to the podium.
Good evening. My name is Janice Macbeth, and I'm speaking tonight about tourism in Eastern Prince Edward Island. Some of the information that I'm using as reference comes from a report titled Eastern PEI's Ferry Service, a critical part of the island's transportation infrastructure. This report was requested by the Eastern PEI Chamber of Commerce. It was compiled by Jupa Consultants, Inc., and it was released in November of 2025. I became aware of this report in February when it was presented to the Belfast Municipal Council. I do not believe this report has been presented to the Three Rivers Council, but I'm sure you all have a copy. The report focuses on aspects of transportation and tourism and contains some very concerning statistics. The report states that the tourism industry has been waning in Eastern PEI, even as tourism is growing across the country. Between 2017 and 2024, the number of ferry passengers dropped 26%, or 99,000 travelers. If these 99,000 travelers came back, the increase to tourism in our area would be $95 million in revenue. Employment in the tourism accommodation sector dropped over 60% between 2001 and 2024, and private sector employment dropped 14%. While this happened, the rest of the province saw an increase of 21%. The report calls for an economic strategy for Eastern PEI. Has the town fulfilled any of the recommendations found in the report? Has the town committed to any form of economic strategy going forward to support the transportation or tourism sector and our vital ferry system? Has there been any collaboration with our local MP, MLA, councils, or the Northumberland Ferries to help build a tourism strategy? Most recently, at the last council meeting, the public was told by a member of the Waterfront Development Committee that the Visitor Information Center, located in the train station on the waterfront, would not open this year. A quick Google search says it's permanently closed. The Visitor Information Center not only provided vital tourism information to travelers, but it also provided seasonal employment for tourism staff and students. Many tourists want to meet and talk to real people, and this provided a great place for tourists to start their journey around Three Rivers. Why was this information about the train station visitor center not made public sooner? Did the town council, the council representative of the Waterfront Board, the Economic Development Committee, Island East Tourism, and the local MLA sit down and have a conversation about the loss of the center? Did the town do anything to maintain this valuable public space and resource? If it was about cost, surely there would have been enough money to pay the rent for this building space if it was split among various partners. Who decided it was not worth saving? Working in silos of who was responsible for what does not serve the community's best interest. With the loss of the visitor center and the station pub restaurant, the marina will be at a loss for rental income, and my guess will be that the traffic and visitors will be significantly reduced this year. The station road is still closed to construction. Is there an undisclosed plan for economic development on the waterfront? And if so, will the train station continue to be used as a public space? Or will this building be used or sold to a private group or enterprise? This building was rebuilt and refurbished with public funds. Since we are almost halfway through the tourism season, there isn't much that can be done now. My sincere hope is that the newly elected council in November, tourism as an economic pillar can be looked at with a new lens, one that views collaboration and partnerships as a priority among all levels of government for the economic benefit of the entirety of Eastern PEI. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Janice. It was not our decision to close the Tourism Bureau at the waterfront. We do have two other ones, one in Cardigan and one in Georgetown. That was in the books for, I'm not sure exactly when Brogan is here. Maybe he can tell us when he's first heard from tourism. But we had a difficult time, they had a difficult time getting funding from the province last year, and it was a last minute thing that they did open last year. I just wish we had as much money to spend on tourism as the province does, and as many bodies to do it. As your question about economic development plans for tourism, we do strategy and other things at our joint economic development committee. We do work on that quite a bit. So yes, we do have some things on the go as far as tourism is concerned.
So my question was there any conversation, collaboration, or communication with other levels of government, Island East, Or did anyone decide that they could pull some money? I mean, we had the provincial government handing out money for hockey, eight point some million dollars. Could we not have asked and scratched the barrel to keep our facility open?
It was
And
an
that's
Arab-
why I'm asking, is there a bigger plan here? Why on earth would our tourism visitor center be shut down permanently? Why at the same time is our restaurant closed?
Yeah, yeah, we offered them space at the Garden of the Gulf Museum. Of course, there was collaboration. We don't work in silos. There's always collaboration on things like
Public
this.
wasn't told. There's been nothing publicly. There's been no public announcement.
It's a decision of the province, and it's their funding.
Yeah.
So I guess if you want to know why it was closed and why there wasn't any funds, maybe you can ask the province. But we
Well-
did offer them alternate space as well.
So the town didn't offer any funding to help with the rent? I can't imagine the rent. When I was on the waterfront board, the rent was $1,000 a month. Can't be much more.
I'm not sure what the conversation was, that the rental agreements are between the Montague Waterfront Development Corporation. But as John said, we did offer them an alternate space. Martina, go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple of comments. Sorry. Sorry about that. I was on that Island East board for many years when we did have the VIC operating in Montague. And every year, consistently, the numbers are down, the visitors on site are down, 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 down. I'm no longer on the board of directors, but there's a very strong board of directors there. They made the executive decision without reaching out at that time to do this move. It wasn't anything to do with the rent, it wasn't anything, I don't think, to do with the money. It was that the numbers weren't there for having staff sit there. There has been talk about a second location, a new location, but more of a kiosk somewhere in a different space. Other than that, you're right for bringing this to our attention. We can look into, reaching out to Laurie McGregor and the executive director for Island East and see what their plan is. I know that they focused a lot on a new plan in St. Peter's. That's what their focus may be right now. But if they're I'll reach out to Laurie and I'll give an answer next week. I am on the Waterfront Development Board. I know it had nothing to do with the rent. It had a lot to do with numbers being down.
So you're telling me that the numbers are stronger in two other locations in Three Rivers than Montague, when we're the first point of access from the Wood Islands Ferry?
No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying that.
Those remained open. So could you get a list of those numbers for all of the I mean, we should have one in all three of our primary towns in this town, in Three Rivers, and Montague is the biggest one. And there's people that work there, and it was employment, and it was jobs. And what I was telling you from the report, if you had looked at it, tourism is down. But without a concerted effort for tourism among all the councils in this region, this will continue to happen.
I'll get some numbers for you, Janice.
Thank you.
Alan, go ahead.
Yeah.
Janice, there's a few more questions.
No, there's no questions, just a comment. I mean, the ferry service certainly has been down, with COVID being a major factor. Don't forget the fire of 2022, that certainly was unforeseen by, MPs, MLAs, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe the province should be really, maybe we should go after the province for why is the Montague location shut down. Maybe it is the local MLA we'll have to go after. I don't disagree with that. It's a shame that there's not jobs there, but we're also living in a world where everybody has everything at the tips of their fingers with their telephone, and everything is available within reason on your telephone. I mean, you can see that it's permanently closed on your telephone. I can see, what the hours of Bogside are. I can see where there's the best place to eat within a certain area on your phone. So there's a lot of things that are done now. Lots of places have Wi-Fi. You can go sit on your telephone. So understandable, it's disappointing to lose a couple of jobs and whatnot, but things are changing as well. And hopefully tourism comes up. Hopefully we'll see some more Americans here this summer and people staying within the country to travel instead of going to stateside with everything the way they are right now too.
And I believe I addressed that in my statement, because the majority of people that are traveling are people that are older people, and not everybody wants to use their phone. A lot of older people, like myself and probably people in this room, like to talk to other people. They want to know where to go, where to eat, not just because of their phone. And regardless, it is jobs. That whole area was a huge economic boost to the waterfront, and there hasn't been one word about this loss. We didn't know about it until the secretary, whoever she was, came into council and told us about this. So everybody knew, but the public. And that's kind of one of those things that if the public had known, I think we could have fought for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have something else to say, right there? No. Okay. Okay, we'll move on to number 6, which is reports. The first one is the Three Rivers Marina Quarterly Report, and I believe Brogan is here to do that. You can turn on your mic there, Brogan. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. You're on.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for having me. Your Honor, CAO, and councilors, and everyone attending. I'm just here to present our quarterly report. It was dated June 22nd, but it was moved to today, the 24th. So with conclusion of the project from the 2025-2026 season, the necessary deliverables have been accomplished and have provided a lot of infrastructure upgrades for the waterfront building. We are currently adding a top-tier point-to-point Wi-Fi system that will allow for overall coverage for the entire waterfront, which was a point of contention for events such as the Arts and Culture Festival, for the vendors, etc., for their POS systems and sales within the waterfront. This provides an opportunity for the town of Three Rivers, if they would like to quote unquote piggyback off of this system and add public Wi-Fi, which could be for free use for the general public. This is a great opportunity, and MWDC would provide the system and would like to add this if possible, but we do not have the bandwidth or router capabilities which are with our current program. So like we discussed this with the Neuron Communications, who installed it, to see if it was possible for us to utilize this, but I think it would be too much to use on top of our POS, boaters, staff, like using our current system. And but utilizing this could be also an opportunity to collect data, speaking of tourism, and would provide valuable information for visitors and beneficial, as a lot of other municipalities, including Charlottetown, have these free Wi-Fi areas. And all it would require is just prompting individuals, not requiring much information, but just either their area code or where they're visiting from. And it could aid in future tourism projects for identification or funding, which would be a great resource, and wouldn't really require too much. Having insight into the regions where we are attracting visitors would aid in supporting proper marketing towards these markets. And in addition to that, we're adding additional cameras to provide better coverage to all the entrances to the waterfront park, which was part of the town-owned facilities grant, which was a great addition. So another point that I just wanted to discuss was the mention of groundskeeping and landscaping at the waterfront. We did have an individual that completed his Career Bridges program, and other staff members that have taken an interest in the flower beds, shrubs, trees, paver stones, and all other areas at the waterfront. Our staff does care for these grounds immensely. We want to see them flourish and stun visitors to the waterfront. And there is a full team of gardeners for the town of Three Rivers, and this is not to talk ill of them at all. It's just I know they focus on the Georgetown flower garden, which is huge. But just basically our staff is more than capable and would not mind doing the legwork, just basically some cooperation for using certain tools or resources such as mulch, soil, pole saws, weed whackers, and other larger tools that we could just borrow instead of purchasing our own. And the possibility of renting an aerator for the grass, to overseed and bulbs, etc., which would greatly aid in this process. The MOU does not stipulate specifics to this area. It only mentions the grass keeping and grounds, but does not specifically mention these important areas. But just something to be considered in the future would be great. And with all that in mind, MWDC is looking forward to a great summer and season, and Arts and Culture Festival, which will be hosting. The waterfront will be hosting its own contribution this year on the Sunday for this festival. We're currently in the process of adding a better display area for our rentals and e-bikes. for Montague in the old tourism space, with the addition of ice cream for purchase for the public and a better meeting point for Three Rivers boat tours and other members visiting the area. This will be a beneficial addition to the waterfront, which we aim on showcasing the old train station spirit with retro train station decorations and the opportunity for all visitors to enjoy the space with the title Dockside Scoops, to promote waterbound traffic as well. So MWDC is looking forward to an overall outstanding season. And just to speak on some points mentioned, the tourism, that was a decision based on them entirely, but MWDC has already taken on the initiative. We reached out to Lori regarding some materials because we do have people still stopping in requesting it. It's not that much of an extra burden on us to just have these materials readily available. She already said there's no problem with us using those. But yeah, we can't control their decision, but I think it'll be a great use for the space instead of just having it as a tourism space to ask questions, but to be used for multiple purposes, which it always has been. So yeah, that's my report. If you have any questions or comments, that'd be great. But yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks, Brogan. John, go ahead. Yeah, just a
Thank you,
couple
Worship.
questions, I guess, Brogan.
Brogan, what's the Wi-Fi coverage area that
So-
you have there now?
So originally we had a different extender, so this was like a great use, and I think the idea was for in future, but it literally covers from the office, and it goes all the way down, like from the main building, point to the gazebo, and then down to the like kind of past the parking lot, and then past that it goes like another 500 meters or so, so almost like down to the turntable. I haven't checked the full coverage, but that's like the point-to-point system, and then you can even add like another one out to the dirt parking lot. Kind of, there's a new power pole there.
So even up to upper around Sackville Street or Central
Yeah,
Street?
exactly. Yeah, so it's great coverage, and yeah, like I said, like we did ask if we could add on our system a free public one, but it's just like the bandwidth would be competing within the same router. So I'm obviously not that technologically advanced, but that was
Me
what
neither.
was explained. But yeah, it would be a possibility if they wanted to purchase basically or like a monthly like router that would like you could host it there, but it could like be open to provide bandwidth to whomever, and you could set restrictions for like no downloading and just kind of just used for like searching or browsing for the public. So yeah.
Very good. And it's offered as, advertised as a secure service.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's fully like they're great. They do a lot of the other like free public areas, so that you can like set restrictions within that. So
Good. Excellent.
yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thanks.
Martina, go ahead.
Have you talked to Lori at all about a kiosk? She talked about, something more that they can walk in and just do the research with you staff around.
Yeah, so like we have some there was already a couple of like brochure mounted display cabinets, which we had that like tourism had left there. They asked if we wanted them, we kept them, and we put them kind of in that side room so that like we have our e-bikes on display and a counter there. So I mean, we already did in the past deal with like conversations with people wanting to meet face to face. I mean, we had about 15 today, just visitors coming to the area. Some came in and ate in there. Like, you can't really, like, we're open to letting people, it's just not that much of a burden on our staff when we're already there. So,
Okay, and can you give us an update on, maybe it's not your job, but on the road closure? Like, I was down tonight to check it out, and it looks like they've cleaned everything off the road, and it's a matter of time before they're finished?
I think the plan, like, as far as, like I said, it's not my project, but as far as my communication with that contractor, they seem to think that they'll have that road cleared by the end of June, but they may be working from that. Like, my suggestion was to use that back dirt parking lot, so that may be closed, but at least have the street open, and it is open on the weekends when they're not working as a through road, and there's parking still in front, but it is, yeah, a bit of a deterrent, but it's not the end of the world, because it's a one-way anyway, so you have to go around
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah, just Brogan's correct. The plan is to have it open full-time by the end of the month. They're gonna move some of the equipment up to, I think they have an agreement with the folks that own the restaurant to use a portion of their parking lot, and they can stage the rest of the project from up there.
Sounds good.
so,
I would support, like, working a little bit closer with the town and maintenance on the tidiness, just I looked at all the cobblestone pathways and stuff, and yeah, we could work on having a few whippersnippers going around just to do the finishing touches, but it'd be great. Looks good.
Yes, and it wasn't, I hope the report didn't read in the way that it was negative. It was just, there's some tools, there's no need in us purchasing for a short season, but to just have the accessibility, and I don't think that's an issue. It's more just cooperation, yeah. And Mike was great and part of the graduation as well, yeah.
Yeah, there has been a conversation about the flower beds and things with John, and so that's been talked about
Yeah,
for sure.
Great. We didn't have the resources, but Mike was a great addition. He has 20 years of landscaping, so
Yep.
it's been great. Yeah, thanks so much for your questions.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Rogan.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Okay, the next is the King's Playhouse Quarterly Report on page 6. It's as presented in your package. Jonathan his son is graduating tonight, so he couldn't come to present it, but if you have any questions on it, if you want to send them to John, I'm sure, or send them to John and he can pass them on to Jonathan. But it's as printed in your package. Okay, so moving ahead, we're on to number 7, which is request for decisions. RFD 26-27, request for approval of the Cavendish Farm Wellness Ice Maker job description. I'll turn that over to John.
No, Danielle.
Oh, Danielle, sorry.
Thank you, Your Worship. The current ice maker position at the Cavendish Farms Wellness Center is presently classified under the town's Public Works Employee 2 job description. Management has reviewed the position and determined that the Public Works Employee 2 classification does not accurately reflect the specialized duties and responsibilities associated with arena operations and ice making functions. The ice maker position is responsible for operating and maintaining the ice resurfacer, Zamboni, maintaining high-quality ice surfaces, monitoring ice making and refrigeration equipment, completing facility maintenance and custodial duties, supporting events, and providing customer service to facility users. These responsibilities are distinct from those typically associated with a public works operations and warrant a dedicated job description specified to the Cavendish Farms Wellness Center. The proposed ice maker job description has been developed to accurately reflect the current duties, qualifications, skills, and performance expectations of the position. Approval of the job description would provide clarity for recruitment, supervision, performance management, and future position evaluations. This is a seasonal position, and the salary is written in the report. So the request is that council approve the Cavendish Farms Wellness Center ice maker job description as presented.
Okay, discussion? Move it forward? Move it forward, okay. Okay, thank you.
Just a
Oh,
clarification,
okay, John?
that this is just a change of the description of the position, not a new position altogether.
That's correct. I mean, we've had the ice maker, when we took on the wellness center, we had a lot of those jobs just under the Public Works 2 category, and now we're just reclassifying them into what they like for the job description to accurately describe what they're actually doing.
Good, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just one other note, that also talking to the manager, the plan is that this person will be cross-trained and will be available to work the arena in Georgetown as well as in Montague. So again, it presents those synergies of managing the 2 operations under the one leader.
Okay, move it forward? Okay. So we're moving to 7.2, which is RFD's 26-9 work alone policy, which is Danielle as well.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Town of Three Rivers Work Alone policy, which is TRHR-2, has been updated to strengthen employee safety, align with current occupational health and safety best practices, and ensure compliance with provincial legislation. The revised policy provides clear definitions, expanded risk assessment requirements, and more robust procedures for communication, hazard mitigation, and prohibited activities. So the request is, the recommendation is for council to approve the updated work alone policy, TRHR-2 as written.
Okay, discussion on the policy? Move it forward, okay, move it forward. Okay, 7.2.1 is RFD 26-28, which is the Codican Fire Hall, and I'll ask John to take that over.
Thank you, Worship. Cardigan Fire Department has been seeking an extension for their fire hall to fully accommodate the equipment required to service their fire district. The project has been approved in the capital budget, and funding for the project is approved under the Canada Capacity Building Fund. The engineered drawings for the project have been completed by Coles Associates, and the building permit is in place. An RFP was issued, and while there were initial interest from builders, only one responded to the RFP. The submission received was from Steve Sanderson Construction for $460,525 plus HST for the 1,015 square foot addition to the existing fire hall, including but not limited to site preparation and excavation, concrete foundation and slab work, structural framing and roofing, exterior finishes to match the existing building, overhead garage door installation, mechanical and electrical work, asphalt reinstatement and related site work, interior finishing and associated works. Sanderson Construction met all the requirements that were laid out in the RFP. And I added for reference, the rural municipality of Belfast issued an RFP for a 3,000 square foot expansion to their fire department. I had confirmed with the CAO that only one construction company responded for the budget, with the budget for the Belfast expansion of $1.4 million. So it kind of aligns with the quote that we had received. I think the challenge with both RFPs asked for the work to be completed this fiscal, which limited some of the workers that were looking at it.
Okay, Alan?
Yeah, I'm in favor of moving this forward. Sanderson Construction's been around for a long time, locals and good carpenters.
And they've also done a bunch of work at the fire hall in the past.
Okay. Any other discussion? Move it ahead? Okay, move it ahead. Okay, 7.3 is renewal of, is RFD 26-30, renewal of the MC advisory contract, and I'll turn that over to John as well.
MC Advisory has been providing human resource services to the town of Three Rivers since 2023. Contract was renewed in June 24 and June 25, each time for an additional year. MC's advisory services include an on-call support for labor relations, conflict resolution, and on-site assistance. They also provide policy review, support with reviewing and updating job description, employee engagement services, recruitment assistance, and help with negotiating job offers for new staff. The town's management team is very pleased with the level of service provided by MC Advisory and their team of HR professionals. We are recommending that council renew the contract with MC Advisory for the 26-27 fiscal year. The monthly contract under the last two contracts was $2,916 per month. The proposed monthly rate for the new contract will not change and will remain at the $29.16. In accordance with the town's procurement policy, TRF 4-2022, professional services such as legal, accounting, planning, and engineering may be extended without a competitive process if council believes that the provider's accumulated knowledge of the town and its operations outweigh any potential cost savings from issuing a tender. It is a recommendation of the CAO and the management team that the town renew its HR services contract with MC Advisory for 26-27.
Discussion? Any discussion? Okay, move it ahead. Okay. Okay, so it's, next is 7.4, which is RFD 26-21, approval of Kings Playhouse Advisory Committee terms of reference.
Thanks, Your Worship. As council is aware, the town of Three Rivers assumed operational responsibility for the King's Playhouse effective May 1, 2026. While operational management of the facility is now the responsibility of the municipality, it is important that the town continue to benefit from the experience and knowledge and community connections developed by the volunteer board over many years. The proposed terms of reference establish a King's Playhouse Advisory Committee that will provide advice and recommendations to council or to administration and council while supporting the successful transition to municipal operations. The proposed advisory committee will serve in a non-governing advisory capacity and will help maintain meaningful community involvement in the future direction of the King's Playhouse. Committee members will provide community perspective on programming, partnerships, fundraising, opportunities, promotion, and strategic development, while recognizing that the operational, financial, and staffing decisions remain the responsibility of the municipality. The structure supports continued collaboration and information sharing between the town and the community while ensuring clear lines of accountability. To facilitate a smooth transition and preserve institutional knowledge, it is recommended that council appoint the current members of the King's Playhouse Board of Directors to the inaugural member of the advisory committee for a one-year term. Following the transition term, council will implement staggered appointments to promote continuity, encourage new community participation, and establish a sustainable advisory structure for long-term success of the King's Playhouse. And the terms of reference were included in your package.
Okay, discussion on the terms of reference? Move it forward, okay. Okay, that concludes that portion of our meeting. So we're gonna move, I need a motion to move into a closed session per MGA section 119EF. Matters still under discussion. The conduct of existing or anticipated legal proceedings or the review of legal advice. So we're gonna move into that. Okay, so moved by Councilor Monroe, second by Deputy Mayor Jenkins. Okay, we're going to move to a closed session, and if there needs to be Okay, motion to open back up the session into a public meeting. Moved by Counselor McFarland and second by Counselor McDonald. All in favor? Okay, since we don't have any motions to make, a motion for adjournment. Moved by Counselor Monroe, second by Deputy Mayor Jenkins. All in favor? Okay, good evening. Thank you, everyone.